Alright guys, here they are. The Harley Davidson chiseled low bars in gloss black. What's going on guys? Back again with another Road Glide video. Today we're going to be installing some new handlebars on my 19 Road Glide Special. If you guys haven't seen my latest videos on this bike, make sure you guys go check out my channel, go back a few videos and check out the different updates I've done to the bike. And I go over and explain everything I've done to this bike. So if you're interested in that, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, browse the channel, and check it out. Check out the different videos I have on this bike. So many of you guys that have been following the build have been wondering which bars I was going to choose for the Road Glide. And being that I am a shorter guy, I'm only 5'7", I didn't want to go with anything more than 10-inch bars, like 10-inch mini apes. And I couldn't decide which brand I wanted to go with. I tried out the Paul Yaffe monkey bars, which are on this Road Glide here. I really like the way they look. The fit and finish is awesome, but they were a little bit too much of a reach for me. Even riding around and turning was a little bit too much of a reach for me because I am a shorter guy. I'm only 5'7". So yeah, I went with the Harley Davidson chiseled low bars in gloss black, and I'm gonna go over here and show you guys what they look like. They just arrived today off the UPS truck. And here they are. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out of the box for you guys to get a better view of what the bars actually look like. Alright guys, here they are. The Harley Davidson chiseled low bars in gloss black. What do you guys think? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. These are a 9-inch rise versus the 10-inch rise Paul Yaffe monkey bars that are on this Road Glide. So I went ahead and chose these bars because I was at a bike night and a guy had them on there. I was like, man, those are some sharp bars and they don't look too tall. I said, can I sit on your bike? The guy goes, yeah, no problem. I go to sit on the bike and I'm like, wow, what a perfect fit for my height. Like, I sat on it and it felt so comfortable and so good, and that's why I went ahead and ordered the chiseled low bars from Harley. As many of you may know, the quality of Harley OEM products are always better than aftermarket products, at least from what I'm used to. And as you guys can see here, the quality and the bend and the welds and everything on this bar are very high quality and very nice. I'm very impressed with the quality of these bars. These bars have the little notch in the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera. They have the little hole, and I'll show you guys more of that here once we go to when we go to install them. But most bars, aftermarket bars, don't have that, and you want that for extra security when you go to clamp your bars down to your bar clamp. Looking at the back side here, they also have the holes for your controls, so that little notch on the back of your control goes right in there. Some aftermarket bars you have to drill that hole out, and I didn't want to have to do that, so that's another reason why I chose these bars. But I will get more into that here once we go to install them on the bike. I'll explain to you guys exactly what you got to do to install these bars on the bike properly. Another cool thing about these bars is they have plugs on the bottom here. They actually have the little bar and shield. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but there's a bar and shield on there. These plugs come out, and it makes it easier when you run your throttle by wire and all your wires through your bars. It makes it easier to make this bend to come out this hole here so that you can hook it up to all your different connections there. So when you pop this out, you'll be able to get your finger or some sort of tool in there to push the wires out this hole. Whereas on the monkey bars, when we installed these, which I should have done a video on it, but it was a while back before I even started my YouTube channel. But when we installed these, it was a pain getting the wires through the bar, through this 90-degree bend, and then down through this 90-degree bend down here. It was super hard to get those wires pushed down through there, as many of you may know if you've done a handlebar change on a new Road Glide or a Street Glide with throttle by wire and all the wires going through the handlebar. But today, we got the Harley Davidson chiseled low bars in gloss black. These are a 9-inch rise, and we're going to install it on my 2019 Road Glide Special, so stay tuned. So yeah, like I mentioned before, these are a 9-inch rise, and these Paul Yaffes over here are a 10-inch rise. And what I'm going to do in another video is compare the difference between the 10-inch Paul Yaffe bars, the monkey bars, and these 9-inch Harley Davidson chiseled low bars, so that you guys can decide which bar will better fit your needs. And I will be doing a review on these bars after I ride it. But today's video is going to be an install video, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to install these bars properly on your 2019 or basically it's 2014 on up Harley Davidson Road Glide. These will fit on. I will provide a link in the description below on where you guys can get these bars from. I'll put the website that I picked them up from that I found were the cheapest. I will also leave the Harley Davidson part number if you guys don't want to order them online and you guys want to go to your local Harley dealer and pick them up. I will provide the part number in the description below. First things first, before you do any install on the bike, you should always protect your paint. And being that we're going to be installing new handlebars, taking these old ones off and putting the new ones on, you want to make sure your tank is protected. So we've got some microfiber towels here laid out, and that way if anything drops and doesn't ding your tank or scratch your tank. And when we get to the part where we have to take the controls off, we have to lay them down and hang them down, so they could touch your tank. So yeah, make sure you have your tank protected before you do any install on the bike, let alone the handlebar install, being that we're working right there above the tank. So make sure that's step number one. Make sure you guys do that. Step two of the install, you want to go ahead and take a T25 Torx bit driver or socket and go ahead and take the Torx bit that's holding this gauge cluster on here. There's two. There's one on the left and right side. You want to go ahead and take those out and remove the gauge cluster so that you can access your plugs to unplug the controls. So that's step number two. Alright guys, so to make this easier, instead of removing your fork lock, you want to remove this piece here that goes around the fork lock. If you can see, there's a little tab that you have to push in on. So take a small flathead screwdriver and push straight in and lift up, and it comes straight out. It's that easy. And then now this whole gauge cluster bezel thing will be able to come out without having to take your fork lock off. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take our T25 Torx bit driver and undo the screws on the side of the gauge cluster here. Alright, so now once you have the screws out, you go ahead and separate the gauge bezel here and go around your fork lock to take this up and out of there. And then you're going to want to disconnect your plug here. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and unplug this here, and then you'll be able to remove your gauge cluster. You also have two more plugs you have to undo, that one and this one over here. And then now this gauge cluster should be able to, yep. So now you have access to your bar clamp right here, where you'll be able to loosen this up and take your old bars off. Alright, so before you take your handlebars off, you want to make sure you go ahead and take this little odometer button off first, because you have to take that off in order to separate this. So we're going to go ahead and take that off now to get that out of the way. Alright guys, so in order to take this off, you want to take a small flathead screwdriver, pry underneath here, pry up on it, and then it slides right off. So you get it underneath there, pry up on it and pull out, and it'll come right off. So you want to make sure you don't pull on it, or don't go this way, don't go this way, don't go this way. You got to pry up on it this way and then pull straight out. Alright, so now that you got your odometer switch off there, you want to go ahead and take a T27 Torx bit here to take off your controls from here and from here, and then a T25 in the back here. So a T25 in the back and a T27 up here in the front. So we're going to go ahead and do that now and get these controls off, and then just hang them down, and make sure when you hang them down it doesn't hit any of your gloss black paint or the tank. So that's why we have all these towels here to prevent that from happening. And then we're going to take your T25 and undo this. These don't come out, remember?
Right.
Alright, so now that we got our control covers off, which are laying down here out of the way, we're going to go ahead and remove the grip from the handlebar. Alright, so you want to use that little flathead screwdriver and pull up on this tab, and that way it allows the controls to open up just like that and then come right off the bar. And then as you can see here, the wires are ran through the handlebar, and that is what we're going to do next. We're going to unplug them from the module up here and pull them out through the bar. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps on the throttle side as we did over here and get these controls off so we can go ahead and pull the handlebars off the bike. Alright, so now that we got the control covers off, we're going to go ahead and take our grip off the throttle side, and then same thing with this. You're going to go ahead and pull this tab up and pull these right off. So you'll go ahead and pull this tab off from there like that, and then these controls will just come right off the handlebar like so, and then we'll be pulling the wires out just through the handlebar just like that side. And this side you have the throttle by wire to pull out as well, so we're going to go ahead and do that now once we get the bars off the bike. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and undo the wires from the control panel here, is what I like to call it. So we're going to do the throttle side first. Alright, so go ahead and pull those out of there like that. So once you get all your wires disconnected from this panel here, you're ready now to take the bars off the bike. So we're going to go ahead and use a 1/4 inch hex socket or a 1/4 inch Allen wrench, and go ahead and undo these 4 bolts here on the clamp, and the bars will come right off the bike. Alright guys, so before we install the new bars on the bike, I wanted to go ahead and do a comparison, side-by-side comparison between the Harley Davidson chiseled low bars and the factory bars that I just took off. That way you guys can get a better understanding on the different bends and the different sizes of the bars. As you can see here, I believe the stock bars are either 8, 8.5, or 9 inches tall as far as the rise goes, and these are a 9-inch rise. So as you can see, the rise isn't much taller, it's the bend that's better on the chiseled low bars versus the stock bars here. These bars here come back at you almost like a beach bar, and these ones here go straight up almost like an ape hanger. So this is what I'd like to call like a mini ape versus the stock bar here that come back at you like a beach bar. So now the next step is to go ahead and take all the stock wiring out of the bars and then fish them through the new bars, which is obviously the funnest part of this install. I'm joking, but as many of you may know, that is the hardest part about this install, is fishing the wires through the handlebars. But luckily the Harley chiseled low bars have plugs on each side for you to take out. While you're fishing those wires through the bar, you are able to push through here and hopefully have a better chance at getting the wires through the hole versus a bar that does not have those end caps. Alright guys, so in order to get these bar and shield end caps out of the side of the bars, you want to take, like, we used a flexible magnetic magnet, or a flexible magnet, and we went through, actually we went through here first, and just like that, and then we pushed, you know, we just kept pushing it really hard, and then it ended up just coming right out, kind of like a center cap on a car. So if you hit it hard enough, it just pops right out, and then you want to go ahead and do that obviously for that side as well. But yeah, it made it really easy to pop these out by going through there with this flexible magnet. Now I'm sure there's other tools you could use, but that's what we use to get it out. So that's that. Alright guys, so now that we got all the throttle by wire out of the old bars, the switch wires out of the old bars, I recommend using weed whacker string. Okay, this is how we're gonna fish the wires through the new bars, with some weed whacker string. So what we did was we used some electrical tape, wrapped the weed whacker string around the wires, got it real nice and firm, that way it doesn't rip when you go to pull it through there. And we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how we're gonna fish the wires through the new handlebars. So we're gonna start by fishing the weed whacker string through the big hole on the back side or the underside of the handlebar, and try to make round this 90-degree corner here. And once we get it to this point, we'll be able to go through this hole and lead it in the right direction. So we're gonna work on that now. Alright guys, so the weed whacker string wasn't strong enough or heavy enough to go down this tube and make this angle, or make this corner here. So what we ended up doing was taking a piece of fishing line with a lead weight at the bottom, put it through this hole here, dropped it down, twisted, you know, turned the bar up on its side, and it came right through here. So now what we're going to do is take the weed whacker string that's connected to our wires here, and we're going to tape it to the lead weight, and then we're gonna run it right down through there. So as you guys can see here, that trick worked. We've got the fishing line tied to the weed whacker string, and it pulled right up through there with no issues whatsoever. So now we're gonna continue to pull this through with the control wires here, and then we'll be all set and ready to mount this up onto the handlebar. So now that we got the wires through the side here, we're going to go ahead and turn it around and send it back through this hole and then guide it out through this hole here, and that is where you want it to end up. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so just like this, we're going to go ahead and pull the weed whacker string through. And out through the bottom here. And we're all set for the clutch side. Alright guys, so we got the throttle cable through here, no problem. And then in order to get the switch wires through the bar, it will not make the curve with the wires with the plug. So we ended up having to take the wires from the back side of the plug. Let me see here. We took the wires out of there, and now we're gonna tape those up to this wire and fish it through. But yes, you're gonna have to remove this in order to get the control wires through the handlebar with the throttle wire. It's too thick to make these 90-degree turns.
5 hours later.
Alright guys, so after we got the wires ran through the bar, which was a pain in the butt, as many of you may know, we went ahead and put Alright guys, so we got the bars on the bike, got them clamped down, and with these bars there's a little notch on the bottom like I showed you before, and that is to go, there's a pin that's in the bottom of the triple tree there that the bars sit in, and the bar has a hole that is oblong, kind of like this shape here, so that you're able to move the bar back and forth for adjustment based on how much of a reach you want when you sit on the bike. Being that I'm a shorter guy, I went ahead and pulled the bars all the way back, which is at its furthest point back. And as you can see here, the bars are basically even with the front forks, which is the look I wanted to go with. So the bars are all the way back at their last adjustment, and they are pretty much even with the front forks, as you guys can see here. So now that we got the bars mounted up, we're now ready to plug in all the controls to the control panel here with these plugs that we had ran through the bars, and then we'll put the controls up on the bar, put the grips on, the mirrors and all that, and we'll be done. Alright guys, so we got all our plugs plugged in to the proper locations. We got the wires tucked in here. This wire goes to your speedo, and then these two wires down here go to your the bottom of your speedo, which are spots for auxiliary switches, which I don't have any hooked up, but that's where those go. So we're gonna go ahead and get that on there and then move on to the next steps. Alright guys, so we got all the controls on here, mounted up, no problems at all. Really nice fitment on these chiseled low bars from Harley. What's nice about these chiseled low bars from Harley is that they have a lot of adjustment. You can move it pretty far forward and back based off of the pinhole adjustment down here. Also, the pinhole, or the holes that are drilled for your controls here, that hole is oblong to where you can adjust your controls up and down. So you have a lot of adjustment on these bars, which make it nice. I know on some of the bars they don't give you much adjustment for the controls, to, you know, because when you're sitting on the bike you don't want your controls down here and your clutch lever way up here. So they did a nice job at designing these bars, and I'm very impressed with the overall fitment. Here. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got everything mounted up, put back together, and we went to go put the little bezel that goes around the fork lock here back on, and it will not fit. So we have to remove the fork lock. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. So go ahead and turn the fork lock all the way to the right, put your key in, and then there's a little button on the bottom of the fork lock. You push up on it. Alright, so once you pull up on that button, you just pull straight up and out, and that easy. The fork lock comes out, and now you're able to put your little ring back around there. Alright guys, so we got it all buttoned up. Got the little bezel thing around the fork lock back on there. Got my odometer button back on there. That thing just slides right on. And it is all set and done. I am very impressed with how the bars turned out. I just went and took it for a little spin around the block, and honestly, I'm in love with how it feels. It's the perfect bar for my height. It's 9 inches tall. I've got it pulled all the way back for, you know, in the setting for the pin, and I'm honestly just super impressed with the quality of these bars. They are made by Harley, obviously, and you can definitely tell they have really good quality. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on these bars. I'm very impressed with them, and I'm glad I chose these over any other bars. But these are the Harley Davidson Chiseled Low bars in gloss black. Trying to get some different angles for you guys so you guys can see what they look like. See how the bar and the fork go with each other at the same angle? That's what I was looking for. Once you guys get it all buttoned up and you start the bike up, you're gonna notice a check engine light. And I already cleared mine, so it's not gonna do it again. But I wanna show you guys how to clear that code. So to clear that code, you wanna go hold your odometer button down. You wanna hold your odometer button down with the power off. Then, while you're holding the odometer button down, which is this button here, you go over to your fork lock and you turn it on. You turn the ignition on. Once the ignition's on, you'll see the code screen come up. The code screen will come up and it'll say ECM with a Y next to it, meaning yes, there's a code. You hit the odometer button one more time and it shows you the code. To get rid of the code, which is, the only reason you have a code is because you disconnected the wires and with the battery still attached. And so you want to go ahead and clear that code. It's nothing bad. So you go ahead and hold the odometer button down until it says clear. Then once it says clear, you hit OK, as in press the odometer button one more time, and it clears the code. After the code is cleared, you can keep pressing the odometer button and go through the different screens for the codes. Whether it's, you can go through ECM, BCM, ABS, and there was one other one. And then once you're done going through your codes, you just simply turn the fork lock off, turn the ignition off, and go to start the bike back up, and you'll notice that the code is off. So that's how you clear the code if you guys get one. I'm sure you will. I know a lot of guys, I've watched a couple videos where after they did the bar install, after they unplugged the wires without unplugging the battery, that they had the check engine light on, which there was a code, an ECM code that you just clear at the end. It's very simple, guys. If you have any questions, comment down below. I will try to answer all your questions. But overall, I'm very impressed with these bars. I will recommend them to all of you guys, and I will leave a link in the description below on where I picked these up at. Alright guys, so that completes today's install video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you guys next video. Stay tuned. I will be having a new seat coming tomorrow, and it will be I'm not going to tell you. I'll let you guys figure that out in the next video. I appreciate all your support, guys. I really do. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next video. Peace!